Welcome everybody to our live stream. It's Thursday analysis stream. Reconnecting, according to the chat here. Interesting quote there, Astrobate. So I've got games for the subscriber stream submitted by subscribers to Twitch. We're doing subscriber games only. We've got 9, to my knowledge, 6 in the study, 3 not in the study but separately, including Mule Skinner, AP, and Princess. I think those were first. So we will attend the non-study games first. What is up, Mr. Coffee? Good to see you. How is things? How are things? Astrobate, welcome. Astrobate, our leading gift subber for this week. Mr. Coffee, leading cheerer, our biggest supporters and fans. Mr. Coffee, also known as the best moderator. All right. Things are okay there. We've got Yabatis, Richard Smith, Tao Disciple, Hey It's Miro, Goiju, and Ripun is last. Alright, first of all, we'll go to the first game, which is Mule Skinner. He always puts it in like a study that I cannot put into my own study, making life difficult for me. Life is difficult with Mule Skinner. So I'm afraid this is not going to fly. He did not submit it like that. He actually just made me... Looks like he made me a member. I'll have to check my messages. So it would be an invitation to a study. An invitation. Blah, blah, blah. There's AP87. There's Mule Skinner. For Tuesday analysis, over the board 90 plus 30, I'm white. Dude, what just happened? What just happened? I just clicked on it. Where did it go? Maybe I clicked on the wrong thing. You guys see this? You just sort of see like the corner. Alright, here I guess I clicked on the wrong thing. Damn, it's in the messages somewhere. Weird, it says 412. Yeah, it's okay, so this is right, okay. Yeah, I'm American, so this like day, month, year thing freaks me out. I've been living long enough in Europe that I should understand that, but I'm still like, oh, that's from March or May or whatever. Yeah, alright. Tuesday analysis, 90 plus 30, I'm white against 21-32 player. Okay, that's game 2. The other words, game 2. Alright, this is Mule Skinner, 21-32 player. Mule Skinner with white. Tezek, welcome. Scared Knight, good to see you. Long time no see from Scared Knight. We missed you in our strong weekly tournaments on Tuesdays. So everybody, bring your friends and family. We need more viewers. Don't watch those other chess streamers. We've been a bit busy lately. Understand. Okay. So Mule Skinner plays against his favorite defense, the French. Welcome, Goiju. Thanks for submitting a game. Oddly enough, Mule Skinner's defense against e4 is the French, and this is not the first time he submitted a game where he played against his own opening. So he likes to tower rush against the French. e6, d4, d5, knight d2. Mule Skinner is one of the people I've played the most games with. I think Arsenal fan Hello is actually ahead of him now in the quest for 300 games. Arsenal, where are we at in the quest for 300 games? Mule Skinner had a huge lead and blew it. Morales is over 400. But it looks like Arsenal is poised to be the second player to 300 on the stream. Mule Skinner has been slacking lately. Oh, we were actually past 300? I forgot. But Mule Skinner must be close. ST Brown? So, okay, 92 C5. It's always a good idea to play the French against someone who plays the French. E takes D5. Obviously, black can take with the pawn here. We went over a game where someone played knight F3 last week. I think this is a bit like more complex because it gives black so many options. Yeah, it gives black all these different options. Last week we talked about knight F6, CD, and knight C6. So 3 really viable options here for black. ED is a little more forcing. Black only has two main options. I mean, we can see the opening book. Yeah, I've never seen anyone play C takes D. That's Igor Foigl. Igor has a game from 1993. My old friend. Wonder where that was played. Yeah, it's strange to see C takes D4. I'm just thinking, what else can black possibly do? Someone actually played knight F6 here. That's pretty crazy. In 1974. But anyway, alright, so main moves. Queen D5, E D5. Black plays queen takes. Now the main move is knight F3. Well, I mean, it's a matter of style, Arsenal fan. Yeah, I mean, both are normal. Both captures. They're a different style of game. Knight F3. I always thought of queen takes D5, it's like very Sicilian, like structure more like a Sicilian than a French. So we looked at this last week too. C takes D4. The same thing happened out of the knight F3 variation. It transposed. Bishop C4 and now Queen D6. But as I mentioned last week, Queen D7 is real trendy. I don't really know what the big deal is. I think masters just like new stuff. Objectively, like, this move is probably not better than Queen D6. Well, let's see what the computer says. It must have something to do with computers. Man, Stockfish is like all about 0, 0, 0. That all 3 moves are equal. This was virtually a new move like a couple years ago. More than a couple now. It actually goes back to 2012. I'm losing track of time. It's so crazy. People are like, oh yeah, that was 7 years ago. I'm like, no, it was a couple years ago. So I can't tell the difference between 2 years and 7 years. It seems like. No, it's got a good reputation now. For some reason, I don't get the notifications. Is there a way to submit a game? Yeah, you just send a message on lichess. But I don't really, send notifications about this. People get annoyed about the tournament notifications. If I send any more notifications, they'll freak out. You just have to send me a message on lichess. Percy Hepworth, we do have room for one last submission, it looks like. If I'm not mistaken and I forgot somebody. Yeah, anyway. Okay, Queen D6 main line, castle, knight F6. And now... yeah, knight B3. Usually people play knight B3. Surround the pawn. You can't play E5, obviously. I mean, F7 is weak, and this is weak. So I don't know which which move is better, knight G5 or like knight takes E5. But clearly this is not a move. Yeah, Percy, if you want to submit a game, we still have room for one more. I think. But for some reason, Muleskinner here played rook e1, which is slightly less common than knight b3. You know, that might be a good practical idea. Is it possible that white will play knight f1 instead of going to b3? I mean, I think rook e1 is often played later anyway. But I am not really very expert in this line. Black just plays a natural move down, knight c6. I was wondering if black could play anything else, like a6 or something. No, a6, as a Sicilian player, that looks normal. I mean, is this a serious issue, like knight e4? I wonder. If you were to waste time, say, like, play a6, right? How big a problem is, like, black's lack of development here? You know what I mean? Like, peace, 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 brother. I got all my pieces developed, and you have none. But even so, it doesn't look all that bad. But a6, I guess, is just too time-consuming. So rook e1, knight c6, and now Muleskinner played knight b3. Kamsky lost to Kobian in 2017, probably U.S. Championship. But it makes you wonder, yeah, why play rook e1 if you're not going to play knight e4? So this is apparently the main idea. Trading off said piece. Again, if e5 is super dangerous because of f7. So black would normally play this. Then we just take the pawn back. Anyway, it's totally playable. Instead, you play knight b3. Black plays bishop e7. You take with the f pawn. I'm not a big fan of knight b3s, so I agree with this. So Muleskinner making a couple like minor inaccuracies that didn't seem to matter in the long run, but objectively, like this knight is bad on b3. You would rather play this one and then keep the other one controlling the center. That would be my explanation. If black exchanges, it doesn't matter. So there's one game here where white actually played queen takes d4 against Lukas Brudner, Swiss Grandmaster, but queen takes d4 is wimpy, you know? I mean, it's extremely wimpy. So knight takes is more normal, not trading queens, castles. And now, unfortunately, the knight is not protected, so you can't go queen f3 or, you know, move the queen somewhere aggressive because your knight is hanging. So thus c3, protecting the knight, freeing the queen to move. Black plays bishop d7, and yeah. I mean, obviously you have to look at like bishop g5 as an option, but it drops a piece, probably. You have problems with queen c5. This is like, not to pick on him, but like Ripun would move his bishop there in the Sicilian. This is a common thing, like, you know, both your bishops get attacked. You've got to be careful when you just randomly mix weird bishop moves. But I would consider the move as an option. Knight f5 doesn't work. So theory says, survey says queen f3 with the idea of bishop f4 mainly. Muleskinner with queen e2. You know, guys, Muleskinner's not here, and this is crazy what I did. I've been analyzing this game. Did somebody correct me? Did anybody correct me? I mean, I've really not been paying close attention to the chat. This is Mule Skinner's game with black. This is crazy. I don't know why, because I saw the first game on the list was Mule Skinner, and I've been like, but he said he was white. No, look at this. No, check it out. Yeah, this is his fault. Wait. No, check out the message he sent me. Let's see. Dude. No, check his message, right? I'm not crazy. He said, Mule Skinner invited you to Mule Skinner's study. Wait. He made me think he was white here, but in the game I think he's actually black. But he has played the Tarish, so how do I know what color he is? This is really weird. For Tuesday analysis, see this? 2 hours ago, no. But it was not long ago. He submitted this. For Tuesday analysis, over the board, 90 plus 30, I am white against 21-32 player. So now I don't know. Is he white or is he black? Because the message clearly states I'm white against 21-32 player. I go to the study, and you see the list here. There's no game where he's white against 21-32 player. There's a game where he's black against 21-32 player. There's a game where he's white against an unrated. There's a game where he's white against a 2025. There's a game where he's white against a 1648. And there's a game where he's black against, it says he's black against 21-32. That would make sense. I think he just made a mistake. But if you look at his color alternation, white, black, black, white, black, white, black. The color alternation is totally legal. I think he's got to be black. But he could be white. He could be white, 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 black, white, black, white, black. I mean, that's completely possible. So, I don't know. What side you guys want to look at this game from? I guess I'm going to keep looking at it from white side. I don't know what side Mule Skinner is, but we've been doing the game from this perspective. I'm not going to switch now. I kind of suspect he might be black. Queen e2. And now white is threatening nothing. Now white is threatening knight f5. It's clearly kind of a cheapo based on knight f5. Queen b6 an idea. Arsenal is like, he's predicting what I'm going to say even before I say it. He's like, can I ask where I am on the list? Arsenal fan? No. You can't ask where you are on the list till after this game, and then I'll let you know. I won't know until after this game. Then I will let you know. It might take a couple minutes. Because I don't have the list in front of me. It's in the other study. You're not on the separate list, so you can't be you can't be before the middle somewhere. Yeah, I don't get queen b6. I don't like queen b6. But I mean, you might have to move the queen back to c7. I think that's what black wants to do. He played a6 to take away knight b5. So it's like he's trying to prepare to retreat his queen back to c7. My first instinct as a non-French player would be like the passive rook e8. Which sucks, I guess, judging by the results there. So it turns out this is possible. What's the idea? Like knight f5, pawn, queen take c4, very deep. Queen c7 is very deep. It attacks the bishop. So the main move is rook c8, which also attacks said bishop. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Vyacheslav Angorn, or Veroslav Angorn, who passed away, sadly, was a great player. 2600. Alright, rook a c8 looks best. Uber driver, all unnecessary pawn moves should be omitted. No, I mean a6 is a normal move, but we have a very concrete problem with that. I don't know that it's appropriate here after knight f5. Takes, queen takes. What's up? Does black have a threat? Are we getting trapped with queen c6 or something? Threatening rook e8 and simultaneously queen takes c4, for example? Well, rook e8 doesn't work, guys. Uber driver, does it? Does it really work? Like here, takes, rook takes check, bishop f1. Do you seriously have bishop e5? Oof. This seriously works? No. No. Okay, here, bishop takes c4. God damn it, Jerry. That works. That actually works. So knight f5 is not a threat. Bishop g5. Hanging. But this connects to rooks in the back rank. Rook a c8. Bishop b3. Now white obviously can also play bishop d3. I don't think that's a simple decision. Here. Now we're finally threatening knight f5. Black plays queen c7, which looks kind of passive. So someone now explain to me why we don't play this now. There's another trap, like with knight g4 or something. Takes, takes, here. Surely. You jest, surely. Shirley MacLaine. Come on. Why don't we play knight f5? Oh no, what is it? What is it? Here. Takes. Well, I mean, I guess you can just go knight e4. But I mean, it's possible that white is better with the bishop pair here. Bishop d8. Bishop d8. Dude, if this isn't mate, I don't know what is. Knight f5, bishop d8. I don't believe it. Wow. Yeah, maybe there's nothing there. Maybe there's nothing there. Yeah, it's possible. But for that matter, yeah, bishop d8. I mean, obviously we're thinking about like bishop c5, but that's starting to look pretty hectic for black. Man, bishop d8 is a nice move. Yeah, like knight h6. This doesn't even do anything. Black could just play king h8 or something. It's a dead end. Even if it worked, it doesn't work. You know? Move 11, what's up? No, there's nothing here. Uber driver's right. Okay, rook d1. Now king h8, very passive, but a sensible defensive move. But now again we have to reevaluate knight f5. I love this position. Yeah, we're booked up submissions. I think we're booked up. Keep it in reserve. Move 11. We'll keep it in the reserve slot. If someone gets banned from the stream who submitted a game, you'll take their place. You're an alternate. Game submission alternate. Or someone like deleted their game or something. You're gonna frame someone who has a game submitted. Yeah. Like, I like White's game. Like, the only plan we have the entire game is knight f5. Because we don't play with pawns. Okay, I kind of like bishop h4, bishop g3, maybe. But White needs to do something with the pawns as well here. Bishop c2. Yeah, there he goes. Uber Driver's comment, you know, his comment is, well, very logical. I mean, maybe bishop d3 was better in the long run. Black's played a little too passively. And this move I really don't like. You know, h6. It's starting to look like... Wesley So versus Borussia Nakobian. Or something like that. So we said what? Knight f5, bishop d8. We're still on this. Check. Like, this probably wins for black, but I'm still not 100% convinced. So I said this. Bishop f6. But this is just a position. Now you have the shelf, queen. Queen shelf. No, it's nothing. And White's probably okay here, Arsenal. But I don't think you have anything. At best, White's equal. Yeah, so let's go on. Rook d1, king h8, bishop c2. Yeah, and I wouldn't want to play h6 if I were black here. Black's conducted the game very passively. It's probably Muleskinner playing black. I don't know which color he is. It says he's black, but in the comment before the submission, he says he was white, so I don't understand. I don't know which side to insult here, because I don't know which side like Muleskinner is playing in this game. Since he plays both sides of the French, this makes it kind of tricky. I don't know whose feelings to hurt here. Black is played rather passively. h6 looks very suspicious. I mean, we've got both possible rook lifts. That's scary as hell. Like, what the heck happens if rook d3? You know, seriously. Why not rook d3? I mean, it's totally standard. How could you not play rook d3? H takes g, rook h3 check, king h8, bishop h7 check. He probably gets away, right? Now you just make a little cubby hole with f6. Laugh your way to the bank. Or even f5. Laughing your way all the way to the bank. The bank is on the other side of the street, so you've got to get over there. Like, check here. On the way to the bank over there. There's a lot of pieces in the way that could potentially interfere with this escape plan. Check here. Queen h7 here. Queen check. King d8. You know, I don't know what's going on here, but it looks like you like knight g4. You found a simpler solution, but I bet like you can take it. Well, let's see what the oracle says. To see, my move's just too deep for even Stockfish. It can't even figure it out. I'm like Alpha. I'm the human AlphaZero with Rook d3. I suggest moves that even like the average engine can't even properly evaluate. AlphaZero already has figured out to like a win for White. What did you say? Rook d3, knight g4. Always with the cheap moves. Rook d3, knight g4. Conceivable. I'm going to turn off the engine and try to refute that. Knight g4, queen g4, bishop g5, rook h3. It's not clear. Queen g5, bishop h3, but we do have this. I mean, I don't know what's going on here. You probably take there, and then it's not convincing. Not really convincing what's happening here. It's probably a draw. Everything's a draw. Rook d3 is really interesting. So e5. Wow. Yeah, I mean, it's just too complicated. It's just too speculative. Okay. So best to move the bishop. Bishop f6, bishop f6. So there seems to be a variation in here. Bishop f6. Bishop f6. h4. I mean, this is obviously computer stuff. I hate trading that bishop off. I mean, there's obviously queen e4, but I mean, black just plays g6. We don't really want to trade our attacking bishop off. I mean, there's obviously this too. You got to consider this. Like, what's happening on bishop h6? Uber Driver's favorite move will play a large part in this variation. Anything you try can and will be held against you in Uber Driver court. If you go to e3, you know, it's like knight g4. His favorite square. Although, you know, even if you got in queen h2, I could try to evacuate with my king, probably. Like, for example, queen e3, knight g4. Yeah, this queen e4, queen takes check, king here. This is garbage. Okay. No, I'm not serious. Here. Let's just go on. Nothing. Let's just go on. I mean, it just seems weird to move the bishop back to h4 now that this h6 has been played. I mean, doesn't it seem like you want to keep the bishop there to sack on h6? This seriously has to be considered a very logical idea. Try to keep the bishop on the diagonal. I mean, this is okay too. We're playing, that's Lasker and this is Nimzovich. Nimzovich wants to play for e5. You know, so now white just plays a really weird move. Never play on the opponent's stronger side. And I think, unless you have no other choice. I would just play bishop g3, but I guess, what's the point? He has bishop d6. He seriously has this move, right? There's no discovery. Nah, I don't know. There is discovery. Yeah, Discovery show. Discovery Channel. I don't know about the Discovery Channel. That doesn't look right. So bishop g3, where are you going? He tries to trade queens. That's kind of annoying. But white's better in the end game, maybe slightly. But I don't like this move. I don't like this move a4. I guess it's not that bad though. Knight d5, and now knight d5. Yeah, I suspect Mule Skinner is like white. I have the suspicion Mule Skinner is playing white here. I don't know. Don't really want to trade pieces in an attacking position. I mean, clearly, like, this is still a good move. The Acer mate on the board. Very subtle. Now look at that. Inducing weakness like he's Taimanov or something. Nice. Now what? Look at those dark square, juicy dark square weaknesses. Now he avoids exchanges. Bishop d6. Yeah, this was a good game. This was an interesting game. I really don't know what's up here. But I don't really want to trade pieces. Now king g7 and black. Black seems to be surviving. And white has no clear attack. Sacrifice on g6. You get uber drivered with like knight f4. I don't know. Why not bishop takes e7? Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. You know. What's the idea? What's the big deal? Move 11. What's the big deal? I mean, I see a knight and a pawn, but I can't really connect them. I just don't see like what white has here concretely. I don't know how I would decide between those two moves. I think intuitively not trading pieces seems reasonable. Instead of bishop d6, wow, you want to do a combo? Combolone. Wow. Okay. So clearly like pawn takes is hasta la vista. Or not. It's not so easy actually. There is the queen potentially defending here. Like, this is so bizarre, but even like that. My eyes are hurting. Check. I mean, this is dangerous though. This is dangerous for black, yeah. I mean, he may be fried here. It defends, but not that long. You know, we've got like rook d4. I'm not sure how long this holds up. Yeah, this actually looks pretty interesting. Boom. Okay, let's try bishop takes. That's got to be a better try. No, I mean, bishop takes should be alright. I don't think this is going to hold water here. You know, now it's a different story. Bishop takes g3. Okay, there's still stuff. Check. King g8. Check. Queen f7. Yeah, you have a crazy endgame, probably. Like, who knows what's happening here? No, it's a rook down. Never mind. That's a rook down. We're a rook down. Yeah, bishop h7 didn't do anything. No, it doesn't quite work. Nice suggestion, though, Uber Driver. So there's nothing clear. Take. The computer says the best move, this has already been analyzed, was what is the best move? h4, but I mean, you know, that's a really weird move. I don't think that's that. I guess it's not really weird. I shouldn't say that. I mean, h5, okay. But with the particular threat of knight f4, I don't think I would have considered h4 as a primary candidate move. It does make sense, but in the light of that move, that knight f4 in your face, you know, it does seem kind of weird. It wouldn't be my first idea. But yeah, it's definitely a move when you start to think about it. Queen h3. This is still an issue. Yeah, after king g7, looks like black is fine. White kind of ran out of stuff. So black stayed very solid and held. And now goes for a trade of queens, which is very sensible. So you got the classic queenside, you know, majority. But black really is fairly active and should be okay. Rook d2. Here. So you can't take it. Bishop c6 is funny. Now we have to double, but this is hanging. So what do? f3. f3. I think I play f3 here. Plus I got a square for my king. But I mean, can we just sacrifice? Oh, I see. You've got a tactic. Okay. Here. Wait. Does this even work? Yeah. If bishop g2, knight f5 check. Okay. Here. Nice move. And then knight takes c6. And so white has a better ending with bishop versus knight. But black has a good king and an active knight. I think black's alright. Rook d2. Rook d2. Uh-oh. But I mean, there is this penetration here, which I don't love. Maybe rook here. We'll save black. So obviously a key question, like what happens if you go down there? With rook d7, this is a problem. Looks like that a6 pawn. I don't know, rook d7 looks like a bit of a problem. Because rook b6. And if you play b4, you get check and take the pawn on c3, right? Now white is lost, or losing. So, he plays king f1 first, giving black time to defend. And I guess this is a draw, objectively. Bishop e4. No bishop e4. Bishop e4, rook here. Bishop takes a6, rook takes a4. I don't know if the a6 pawn is falling, you know. I don't see how it's falling, necessarily. Mate. I don't see it falling just yet. Rook d4, e5. Rook e4. That's really awkward. I thought he would play rook b4, if anything. What's wrong with rook b4? Rook need distance. Rook e4. Yeah, king. Super king. g3. Now I don't know where this knight should go. It has two options. Not clear to me. I mean, the knight seems to be as good as the bishop. And this is a problem, like rook b6 again. I mean, black could easily be, like, better here. You know, this looks awful for white. For example. It's a catastrophe, you know, if you have to play like there. Black's king is just chilling in the center of the board. I mean, that's really ugly. So white has to be super careful. Knight d5, prevents rook b4. Random move, kind of buying time. But you gotta be careful your rook doesn't get trapped or something. I mean, if like f5, f4, I guess that's not gonna happen. I don't see it getting trapped, actually. Black's main threat seems to be rook b6. Which is serious, though. Yeah, I mean, I don't think white was, like, aware of this. This problem with rook b6. Like, what are you supposed to play here? Bishop e3. You know. So he should, like, start to... It started with rook e4. I mean, it looks like rook e4 is a really bad move. He should definitely play here. I think after rook b4, white is okay. You know, but after this move, his position gets kind of weird. The king improves. He could still play rook b4. Black has king c7 there. But still, it's better than nothing. Now there's no more rook b4. And now bishop b3 looks like last try. You know, but I still don't like white's position. This looks very creepy. I don't know. This king is just too active. I don't know if white is lost, but it doesn't look good. Yeah. So the engine goes with king c4 for real. King c4 is possible. Don't ask me if this is a win or a draw, but I mean, maybe f6 is safer. The engine seems to think this is still a draw, but it looks very difficult to play for white. It's not quite lost, Arsenal, but it may be in a practical game. You know, the computer can hold it. Well, white has to play very accurately. So instead he did bishop e4, missing the threat of rook b6. And then take, and rook b4. And it's like just lost. I mean, I assume white's like in time pressure, but this is clearly hopeless. You can't play rook b4, obviously. So the problem is if you play like b4, it's rook c6, and you're losing a pawn anyway. It doesn't matter, objectively. Although that's better than trading rooks, you know. Here, here. Maybe like try to find a way to hold on here. The problem is no rook. Look, mom, no rook. b5, takes, rook takes c3, down a pawn, and your b5 pawn is weak. Yeah, good luck with that. Well, someone suggested g4, but if g4 you're walking into rook c4, it's like Zugzwang, isn't it? This is Zugzwang. Forget about g4. No, I mean, probably white is lost here. There's just a question of what's the best practical way to try to survive. Maybe f4. Then again, f4. You could just do f6, then f5, something weird like that. It's totally lost. So the engine just thinks it's lost. Yeah. Anyway, it's lost. Good game. Whoever you are that won. Mule Skinner or Mule Skinner's opponent. I thought white had a good position, but you know, black played the opening too passively, but in the end game it was all black. Maybe Mule Skinner was black. Played the opening too passively. Alright, we'll find out when he logs on later. That was like a too long analysis for our first game. Now I've got Andrea Perrone. I had it in my messages. Wait for it. Wait for it. AP87. He's got his own study. Put it in your own private study. Say what? What did he do? Like delete it or something? Alright, this game. It might be something that Move 11 did. I think Move 11 must have had something to do with this. AP87. Move 11, have you been hacking again? Where's my message? It's like study. Study. Maybe he just wanted me to look at this position, I guess. I guess that's his point, you know. It's not a game submission, it's just position analysis of an opening line. So let's see. Stay safe, everyone. You need to go for a league game. Would somebody be able to what? Would somebody be able to time stamp what time my game is when I get back, please? Mr. Coffee's the man. No spoilers. Anyway, so this is, I guess, our submission from Andrea Perrone. AP87. So we got a normal Italian game. Black plays knight f6, white plays knight g5, the fried liver, and well, the knight attack or whatever. I guess it's not the fried liver till you sack your knight on f7. So main line d5. You know, Other moves should be considered after d5. The Traxler is probably not sound, but d5 takes. Black needs to seriously consider the b5 and knight d4 lines. Like, objectively, this is playable, you know? Do you know if you go to YouTube, you can open a written transcript of Will's commentary? Are you serious, Superdriver? The FBI is doing that right now. Knight d4. That's scary. That's very useful. You're serious? There's a written transcript? Are you kidding me? You can do that for every video? Oh, you mean the transcript of the chat? I understand. But you're talking about the transcript of the chat? I thought you were like, my speech was like, there was a transcript of the things I said. You're not serious. That's not what you meant. You're just talking about the chat. You're talking about the chat? Okay, I was like, whoa, are you serious? That's amazing. That would be like too much to ask for. Automatic transcript. Yes, there is a transcript of the things you say. Yes, there is. Are you serious? Auto-generated task? How is... Wow, really? How is the quality of that? That's amazing. Dude, that's very interesting. It can't be completely accurate. Wow. Oh, Cooking Rooks is here. What's up? How are you feeling, man? Better? So anyway, this is Andrea Peroni's suggestion to analyze this. I've never seen anyone play 97, but it reminds me of something. You know what it reminds me of? This. It reminds me of a very interesting line in the Spanish Berlin. I saw recently pop up again in the D3 anti Berlin. Someone played that in 87 recently. An old friend of... It's the Professor Moriarty variation. Carlson Rapport, 2021. Okay, Rapport, of course. Rapport has like a catalog of every weird opening idea, and he like just searches his card catalog of like, what weird opening can I play today? I thought this was a funny line for black. Probably not that great, but I mentioned this in a video a couple years ago. Anyway, this is the position. Bishop c4, it's two knights defense. Knight g5, here, takes, here. So, so what? Yeah, I've never looked at this, to be honest with you. I don't think this is a real variation, but it has something. So the obvious question is, not knight takes f7. Actually, alright, knight f7, king f7, d6 check, knight d5. Let's talk about this, kids. This looks like white has no pieces left to attack with. Bishop takes d5 check, knight takes, queen h5 check. Somehow not the same as the normal fried liver. Something's missing from white's recipe here. I'm not really buying this. So d6 check, maybe without knight f7. Or d6, I should say. Is clearly an option. You play regularly this line, but never face this one? Sacred Knight, I don't know. I never played it regularly for either side. I mean, I guess a little bit with Black and Blitz. I never saw anyone play Knight E7 either. I mean, I'm sure the engine has a good line, but I want to figure this out. I mean, you can't just, like, drop material. If Queen D6, Knight F7, it looks like... I mean, you could possibly play some crazy moves. First, you have to move the queen. I mean, this doesn't look sound, does it? There are some kind of bizarre ideas. Like here. I don't know. This doesn't seem right. What would I do if I was white? You know, I'd probably just like play D4 or something. I feel like white should just do like D4. Maybe there's no clear, you know. Let's take another look. D6, Queen D6. Yeah, maybe it's good. Bishop takes F7, check. Yeah, this is even better. This looks even better, honestly. Bishop takes F7, check. Here, and then come back. Now you're threatening Knight F7. Family fork. That clearly looks winning for white. So D6. What do you want black to do? The Humpty Hump. Move the knight somewhere? Like, what are you going to do? This doesn't look good. Let's see. Pawn takes. Maybe pawn takes. Bishop takes check. King D7. I mean, clearly black is lost here. There's no question about that. So, what about Knight D5? This, I guess, is the main question. That must be the idea. It's like a modified fried liver. But the point is that black can play C6 and just defend the D5. So at the end of the day, it's not clear if is D6 really a constructive move. Maybe white should just develop his pieces, you know, like Knight C3. It's completely conceivable that this is like white's best move. Nothing fancy, just play like Knight C3. Just make an ordinary developing move. Then obviously like H6, kicking you back, you know, and it doesn't look so convincing. It kind of looks like a good elephant gambit for black or something. You're going to get the pawn back. Black's just getting his pawn back. And nothing special. Here, for example. I mean, you might have a combo, right? Like knight takes, knight takes. Nah. I don't think this is going to work. Yeah, I agree, Cooking Rooks. This is the only idea that's interesting. Knight E7... D6, Knight D5. So let's say white just does some kind of normal move. I don't know. Just nothing fancy. Let's just do pawn takes pawn, right? Attacking his queen. Queen takes, presumably. Black is down a pawn like in a normal fried liver with Knight A5. Or you could, like, for example, play Bishop E5 check, and then, like, Bishop D7, and just get on with it, you know, like, take, and white is up a pawn, and it's not clear black has enough compensation or not. Okay, that's what I guess. Let's see what the truth is with the engine. This is very interesting. Wow. Basically, everything we suggested is an option. I said, what if white just makes some normal developing move? That's like number 1. I also suggested d4. This is number 2. And then the number 3 line is actually the forcing line. So we analyzed it kind of correctly, but our order of moves was probably wrong. Like, this should have been the first line. Yeah, this is kind of cool. Definitely worth playing in rapid or blitz chess for black. I mean, we didn't really even consider the possibility of bishop e5 check, by the way. You know, that's... Like here, another possibility. Bishop d7. Bishop d7. Queen d7. Black has compensation. Yeah, I'm glad he submitted. This is an interesting idea. I had never seen anyone play knight e7. So apparently this is best. d4 is second best. But this is the most interesting one. d6, knight e5. It took us a while to find this. My line is best. Takes, queen takes, queen, bishop e5 check. Yeah, this is exactly what we were just looking at. Computer verified the exact variation I finally analyzed, but with knight takes d7. That we didn't consider. Yeah, strange. Knight takes d7 is really weird. I wouldn't have considered that. So pretty cool. Like, it's a playable, weird idea. The best move according to the engine is knight c3. And if you take this, I guess it's like... Can we do a delayed fried liver? No, because c6. Yeah, not too many people are going to get this right for white. So the engine actually suggests knight f5, speaking of elephant gambit. Playing knight f5 like the elephant. Not that you play knight f5 in the elephant, but you sack the d-pawn. And then, you know, something like, you basically sack the d-pawn forever, or for a long time. It's a modified sort of elephant gambit. Relative. It's a mammoth. We'll call it the mammoth. It's a distant relative of the elephant. It's the mammoth gambit. Alright. Thanks for submitting that from Andrea Peroni. Let's go back to third submission, which is Princess Chess. Learn. I can tell Mr. Arsenal. Arsenal's going to be back. Alright. When is Arsenal's game due? My studies. Arsenal's fan. Arsenal's fan. Yeah, Arsenal is not the next game, not the one after that, but he is the one after the one after. Third game upcoming. Mastodon. Yeah, is it a Mastodon or Mammoth? Mr. Coffee, we'll have a vote. Let's do a poll. Would you rather name it the Mastodon or the Mammoth Gambit? We'll come up with an official name. Let's do this democratically. Democracy is like climate change. Slowly, it's like the Earth. Slowly getting destroyed. But let's enjoy what democracy we have left now. We'll have Mastodon or Mammoth. We need a third suggestion, like the Stegosaurus or something. We need another relative of the elephant for the third guess. Anyway, Princess Chess submitted a game that I couldn't put in the study. That's our third mystery game. There it is. A game for Thursday analysis, thank you. Alright. Mr. Coffee, Asterbait, thanks for supporting the stream, guys. We had no follows or gifts this stream? What? Come on. An Ollie font. An Ollie font is a thing? Are you sure? What's an Ollie font? Here's the current poll. Name of Andrea Peroni's weird Two Knights Defense Gambit. The Mastodon or the Mammoth? Give it some time. We'll give it a little time. Mr. Coffee, how much time do we have to vote? Yeah, I don't remember the reference. It's like from Lord of the Rings. Eight minutes remaining for the new opening name. Too close to elephant. It sounds like a World of Warcraft monster or something. Beast. I've been playing too much Hearthstone. Alright, Princess Chess, game for analysis. Princess Chess created a problem. Alright, we have a problem. Now, how in the world would I guess which game Princess Chess submitted? Maybe this is Move 11's big chance. Princess Chess said, a game for Thursday analysis, thank you. And then, like... But, I mean, you're not specifying which one. Like, there's 4 games in this. How am I supposed to guess, like, which game she's submitting? Should I assume, like, she's submitting the first one? There's 4 games in here. Just skip and do your game. I'd rather assume than skip. But there's a chance Princess Chess will show up. So let's do Arsenal's game seriously first, and maybe Princess Chess will stop by and we can ask her. We'll hold her game. And we'll do Richie's game first. There's a chance she could stop by and we'll actually be able to figure out which game is actually meant. If not, I'll just guess, but why not? What's it matter? Alright, learn, study. My studies. You're just kidding. No, but I mean, it doesn't matter. It's fine. She might stop by the stream. Maybe not, but... Okay, Bunny Bringer. That's not the right game. Richard Smith. Oh, you're actually skipping 2 people. Unbelievable. Pushy. Those English tourists. Alright, Richard Smith playing black. I have not seen this yet. I would love to, like, prepare and go over the games in advance, but that sort of spoils it sometimes, you know? It's kind of like those YouTube reaction videos. See the International Master react to this horrible game. Alright, e4, e5. Bishop c4. Knight f6. Oh, I did look a little bit at this, actually. I'm lying. Because you told me... I didn't look at it in great depth, but you told me it was... I was excited because you told me it was a... what do you call it? Yurosov Gambit. What's that medicine? Fall asleep? No, Sominex. Fall asleep faster. Yurosov. Yurosom. Anyway. Nomadic Felix. So we have d4. Somebody was telling me that... Who was it? They will not be revealed, but someone watches like the Butcher's videos or something, and they were suggesting that the chess bra guy, that he has some, I guess, tutorial on this. I mean, you know, honestly, it's not bad. It's kind of like Eric Rosen. suggesting the London system. A lot of people play it. Morales plays it. Someone on Sound plays it. Our old moderator, Soltigo, plays it. It's a lazy, lazy way, but it's annoying. I mean, I'm kind of biased against it because it's honestly kind of annoying to play against. No, dude, it is legitimate compensation. It's totally in the category of openings like the Smith-Mora. It's not really correct. It shouldn't be very good, but it's just good enough that it's playable. Enough to be annoying, Did you see, though, Arsenal, you don't remember? Not like you know all my games, but you weren't here when I had these crazy games with Morales where I tried a novelty, Knight C5. I mean, I studied this with the engine and played a couple games with Morales. Like, you would mess people up with that. Like, this move is interesting, but it's like there's a variation with Bishop G5. And the problem is you have to play F6, and it looks ugly. But honestly, with the knight blocking on E6, it's not that bad for black. I did lose, to be fair. I lost to Morales once or twice experimenting with this. But I think if you really studied this, it would make a good surprise weapon against this crap, because they're going to have to like figure it out over the board, This is like a whole different position that those Urosov Gambit people, they haven't studied. Like, a lot of them aren't even going to find Bishop G5, first of all. They might play something else. Bishop G5 what? Is there not what? 96? What? What? Bishop G5? What? 96. He could take. You're a sick puppy, bro. Alright. Anyway, knight F6 is main line. The problem is they know like 30 moves of theory here. So it looks like this move. Looks cool. Did you have this prepared? I like C6. I love not castling, as Uber Driver will tell you. Like, if you can play C6 and D5, I'm all for it. Absolutely. You're out of prep on move 3. Wow. No, this move looks kind of cool, honestly. Like, because from my perspective, that's black's #1 priority. Like, shutting it down with D5. When I saw you played C6, I thought, oh crap, this must be some kind of, like, prep. Maybe this is a really good move. I don't see anything wrong with it, honestly. I mean, what could possibly be wrong with C6? Avruk played it against Almira. There's very few games here. I mean, who plays this with white? There's like no names. Except for Avruk. But he could play anything. So Bishop G5, and then the funny part is you didn't do D5. I mean, I thought that's the whole point. So now we've got Simon Webb. Simon Webb, he's deceased, right? Was he the guy who was like murdered by his son? Or something? What was the deal? Chess for Tigers guy? What was that? Do you know that story? Am I getting it right, or am I like, my Alzheimer's kicking in? Wasn't that the crazy situation? I think the guy was like murdered by his own son. Wasn't that the story? Does anybody know that? He was like a FIDE master. He wrote some books like Chess for Tigers. I don't remember the story now. He was British. Have to look it up. There was some freaky weird story. You know the book. He's like, wow, it's true. Yeah. It was weird, man. I don't know. I never really looked into it. I just heard about it. So he's got a correspondence game here. But he was an OTB player. FIDE master. But I think once you play C6 early, what's the point? D5. We don't care about bishop takes F6. So this is a very important move. But the interesting thing is, and by the way, like, this line was analyzed in an old book I have, which I've told the story before. Tot Bela is an IM. who used to live in Italy. He's Hungarian, obviously. Not a lot of Italians with the name Tot Bela. But Tot Bela claimed that Furintos stole all of his analysis and published this book on the Petrov. It was a Bastard Petrov book. It was apparently like all of it was Tot Bela's analysis. That was stolen and published under Grandmaster Furintos. But I remember that book. I have it, and in there this is discussed. They take it seriously. But this is interesting because here you could actually play bishop e6 rather than bishop e7, and I like the thing about what I like about this position for black is your ability to, you could threaten the castle on either side. You obviously don't care about bishop takes f6, so this is the move. So Simon Webb won with bishop e7. That looks like a transposition. The question is, can black do something else? Oh, he was an international master? That's weird. I thought he was just a FIDE master. Maybe he was like I am in correspondence or something. Wonder what Dennis is doing these days. He's probably out by now. That was in 2005. 15 years. In the UK, it's nothing. For murder, 15 years is a lot. He's probably walking around free on the streets now. They don't, have capital punishment, right? He was a GM in correspondence. So I would be interested in this move. Honestly. Do we have to castle kingside? Anyway, just let's see what the engine says. Oh man, you got Morales City here. It's coming with a knight takes d5. So Simon Webb knew what he was doing. Like, we can't allow that. Look at that crushing piece sacrifice. Yeah, that's a classic. Morales piece sacrifice. Yeah, it's too strong. So we can't do it. We have to play bishop e7. You have to transpose back to the main line. So all this move order in, it doesn't matter. It's all like forced. Soltigo had this like worked out to a forced at least draw, and he beat like some computers with white. You definitely don't want to play this. Okay, but the guy won in correspondence in 97. I mean, the engines were weak back then. Nowadays, like Simon Webb would never win a correspondence game with black. He would just draw every time. So anyway, move 11, sorry. Arsenal played bishop e7, castle, d5, queen h4, bishop f5. So this is new. But your opponent looks like he misplayed it. He should play rook e1 first. And then, like, what happens if you castle here? Well, that's freaky. So if castles, I'm waiting for, like, a sack to happen or something, like rook takes e7. Rook takes e7. No. It's just not enough. Queen e7, bishop takes d5, you just ignore it. Alright. Igor Nomkin. Queen h4. Funny that bishop f5 happened here in a game. So anyway, your opponent played queen h4 right away, and your new move, bishop f5. Your new move. Obviously, you're giving him like knight d4 with tempo at some point, but you're also maybe taking some of the steam out of bishop d3. This is an interesting move. Never played before. Here. Alright, I guess it's safe to assume you can't play knight e4. Man, what does he have a sack now? Oh, he did rook e7, right. What about like the more mundane, like bishop takes d5? Maybe he can play this. Does this work? Knight d5. Okay, so you would probably like come to your senses and play castles, right? Though I don't know if this side like this even. Is bishop takes d5 a problem? It doesn't work. Wow. Computer doesn't know. Well, again, like Stockfish is totally mesmerized. This works. Oh shit. Bishop takes d5. Sladgie just figures it out just with intuition. The computer, it takes it like a minute to figure it out. Did the mammoth win? Mr. Coffee, who won? I missed it. Where is it? Who won the poll? The Megalodon. Dude, Megalodon. The Megalodon is like something else, no? Megalodon. What the hell is a Megalodon? So, yeah, I mean, you're either lost or winning here. I doubt it's a draw. No, I'm saying, like, the Eurosov, it's like a forced draw or something. But that's why I play knight c5. I don't want to go into this forced 9. This is crazy. Yeah, so here you messed up. You should have just castled, I guess. Transposed to the other game. I mean, this looks a little scary, too. Alright. So it was inaccurate, but your opponent went berserk with rook takes c7. This is great. I love what happened here. So clearly king takes is crazy. We have to at least consider it, though, right? Let's consider it, the possibility of taking with the king, just for fun. I mean, is this going to be an issue over here? Let me ask you a question. Did you... No, but I mean, why should it lose on the spot? Like, why should it lose on the spot? Because of queen b4? Obviously, we're not taking that, you know, but we're up the exchange for a pawn. So, before we totally resign, what is he threatening exactly here? We're not recapturing on d5. Probably it is lost, you know, with the engine depth, you know, 20, but theoretically, man, the dark squares are really bad. But let's say king f8, king f8. I guess king f8 is our best chance. I mean, clearly white has a wicked attack here. +3, +2. Yeah, queen b4 check seems to be an issue. Do we have a better defense there? Oh, it wants to take it. Holy crap. No, king f8 is best. See, my instincts are good. This is self-preservation. Slaggie's sense of self-preservation. Alright, this is very, very dangerous. Probably queen takes is forced. The idea is that he can cover rook e1 with bishop e6. This is what happened. You know, so this is a fascinating position. But Arsenal is up. He's up a clear exchange here. And a pawn. That's a lot of material. And he still has the right to castle either way. So I'm pretty psyched, actually. I say, like, this isn't good enough for white. I have my doubts. So you played h6, but why? Why can't you just castle? How strong is black's counterattack here? I mean, obviously there's this. There's queen coming over to the other side. What's up, Schieberspieler? Yeah, knight d4. Interesting, but unclear, you know. I don't know about h6. I guess it's not a bad move. The problem is he doesn't have to move it. So then he goes knight d4. And then castles queenside. And then bishop f4. And this is a wonderful... just a wonderful position. Knight d5. So now Arsenal just couldn't resist. g5. And the guy has this. I don't know what this mate is called, but it's a classic. This is like a totally classic mate. So can you play like queen c5? Yeah, that was game. Okay, here. Obviously, b takes c, bishop a6. That's in like every combination. I don't know, Arsenal, what it's called. I feel like... is it Bowden's mate? I feel like maybe. It might have a name. There's the Con Renaud book, The Art of the Checkmate. They named like all these different mates in there. It's probably in there. That's in my storage unit. Believe it or not, I saw 19... I believe you. I believe you. We believe you. And now knight b5. I would love to see like an Arsenal fan Morales mini match. Alright, queen c5, knight b5. What a wonderful move. So what is this, like you can sack your queen for 3 pieces type of thing? B takes c, bishop e3. Oh, he goes knight d6 check, right? I looked at this once only. And you gotta lose your queen. And so if you take on f4, check with the queen, and you're gonna lose a piece anyway. So this is just a problem. Nothing but problems. So actually, I was looking at this move, but his queen's hanging. Like, what's he gonna do? He's lost, right? Yeah. It's just lost. It was too crazy, I guess. So here's what happened. Arsenal like gets his queen return, and then the guy plays for this crazy threat here. Nothing really there. White's just down a rook. A mere rook down. He got a little hair raising. But if this knight falls, he's busted. Now, if White only had like 2 free tempi, he might have something going on. I don't know. Yeah. There it is, see? There goes the plug. They pulled the plug. So, I don't know. My takeaway is that a fun game, but, you know, the critical question really was what was the critical question? Yeah, I don't know what the critical question was. Well, okay, yeah. He has to play knight takes d5. That's... bishop takes d5, sorry. This is a critical question. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I guess you just have to play the main line. Wish me luck. Good luck. He's going to go play his tournament game now. Drinking club. Alright, good luck with the drinking club after. Don't get COVID. Wear your mask on while drinking. Put a beer hole in your mask. And just use a straw. Alright guys, so we're on to Yubatis. I'm holding off on Princess Chess game because we don't know which game that was. Okay, the game I'm thinking of is Lasker versus England. Freddy Krueger. Robert England. Freddy Krueger, a very strong chess player. Alright, but seriously, this is Yabatis, who is ill, from what I understand today. So I hope he feels better. All jokes about COVID aside. Yabatis playing knight c3, his favorite opening. And then c5. Okay, this is a good move for Sicilian players. A certain annoying account played like a4 against me. Then I wonder why... they wonder why I banned them from my stream. You can play this against me and like crush me every game. Yeah, whatever. So, seriously, we can transpose to the closed Sicilian. I think that the Linkspringer book probably discusses primarily like knight f3 and d4. Yeah, maybe Freddy Krueger could qualify for the chess Paralympics. You have to go d5 with black. Well, Uber Driver, you don't have to, you know. d5 is the best move, but to be fair, I think that people who don't play d4 shouldn't do that. You know, honestly, Uber Driver, it really depends on if you're a d4 player or not. I don't know that e4 players should play this with black. Because basically you're playing the Chigorin, you know, with colors reversed. Maybe it's better for the e4 players to opt for something else. I think it's reasonable to play c5. I agree, like, mathematically, d5 is the best move. But, you know, the Dunst opening seems like it might actually be worse than the Jabava London. Probably the Jabava London is like White's better move. Or the Borisov with Bishop g5. It's not that bad. It's White's still equal. Probably equal, you know, in the Borisov. Or even the Jabava crap. Sorry, Jabava. Wherever you are. Watching The Lord of the Rings or something. That was his latest stream. He's watching Lord of the Rings. Okay. I don't know how you can do that without breaking some kind of copyright laws. But whatever. One strike on your Twitch account. Okay. Knight c3, c5, d3. Very strange move, but okay. You're white, you've got an extra move. a6. Why not just play a6 on the first move is what I don't get. You know, why wait until move 2 to play it? It's like Yabatis versus Yabatis. Yabatis also plays the O'Kelly Sicilian. So what would happen if Yabatis played Yabatis? It would probably be this position. Also known as Spectacular Camel. So now it's just like a weird closed Sicilian where a6 isn't that great. e6. In fact, I had a game with this against one of my students in a training game the other day. The whole a6 b5 thing, I have a problem with black. You know, is anybody out there paying attention? Because seriously, this is important info I'm going to drop on you here. I think, and I learned this from this game I lost 30 years ago playing the black side of a hedgehog. What I tried to do 30 years ago against a master level player as black was basically play the hedgehog against the King's Indian attack. And what I realized is that you can't really play the hedgehog effectively unless white plays d4. The hedgehog is this thing where you like white plays d4 and c4 and e4 and then he takes and then you have counterattack with b5 or d5. But the problem is if you have the King's Indian attack or the closed Sicilian in this sense, white has one plan, you know, and it's a good one. White's plan is going to be like g3, bishop g2, f4, f5. And it's the same in the closed Sicilian, the Grand Prix attack. The problem is if you do like b5 and bishop b7 and all that, there's no, there's a problem because white's just going to blast you with f5. It's just a matter of time. Black doesn't have enough like counterplay, You're just, the only chance would be, I guess, to try to bust through with d5. But it's not that easy to do. I guess the best here is like g3, okay. Now b5, bishop b2, bishop b7, f4. This is my exact game with my student that I was talking about. If you try to play like the hedgehog, d6 and knight f6, you're just hosed. White will play for f5 and black has no answer for that, basically. You're just worse. You have no plan. But I guess black tries to play d5. So this is our main line. Either d5, creating this funky structure, or knight f6 with the idea of d5. But the recommendation from Richard Palliser, who did a good book on anti-Sicilians, was like basically black plays like h5 and then tries to play knight h6, knight f5. So you have to do d5 here, basically. You can't play it like a hedgehog. Alright, so white played g3, black played knight f6. White played bishop g2, black played knight c6. White plays f4, and now black plays h5. You're playing on the wrong side of the board. This would be okay if the center is locked, but it's not yet. h5 sketch, a little sketchy. Knight f3, bishop e7, too routine, h3, and now this looks really dumb. Like this just tears up black's structure. So Ubatis did something weird here, but I think the straightforward knight takes d4 looks good. I mean, I don't know what's black doing here. This just looks bad. Like, what is that pawn there? I think black's just worse. Highly suspicious pawn on d4. Either it becomes weak or we undermine it with c3, but white is just better. Yeah, knight d4 is dumb. So he has to try something like central. But again, like now the knight wasn't in the best place. If you're going to play, see that's why they play d5 without knight f6. If you're going to play d5, e5, you'd rather have your knight on g8 and be able to go like knight h6, knight f5 here. Instead, now black has to like recirculate, lose a tempo, or put his knight on this funky square d7, where it's really hard to get it back in the game from d7. There's the wonderful f8 and the wonderful b6. Or I hope I can play b5 and get my knight to c5 or something. So anyway, this is just kind of weird. But even this is probably a decent move for white. The knight on d4 is momentarily strong. I mean, what are you going to do? Knight b1 and chase it away? I feel like I've seen this game already. He plays knight e2. Okay, white is better. Take, take. And now, the same thing I was talking about, basically, happened now. The problem with black's position is that black doesn't have a plan. Black has no plan. White has f5, and devastating pressure like along the line against f7. Black has weakened his king side, white's stronger side, and has no counterplay on the other side. So white has to play some careful moves, but ultimately, as they say, a plan is better than no plan. Any plan is better than no plan at all. Now, I mean, white has a clear plan to play for f5. So it's the hedgehog versus the King's Indian attack. Castles. And then the catastrophic... What? Yeah. That's a positional nightmare. Bishop takes g5, f takes g5. Now the dark squares are weak. And we have the open F file. And black's like, well, I've got a great square for my knight on e5, but it's only temporary. It feels like we're already getting close to maybe there's some sort of tactic somewhere. I kind of like want to play g6. But it probably doesn't work. Ubanis played e5. Okay, it's not bad. Wait has a massive space advantage. Here. Oh no. Does he really have a tactic here with bishop takes d5? Could this possibly work? It's close to working. You also might be able to do like some kind of preparatory move like g6 and then take. It doesn't seem to really do anything. I feel tactics. I smell tactics here. Okay, c4. Wow, the computer just wants to do that, but this is just a preparatory for the devastating c3. The slow motion. I would never have found that. Magnus might find it. I don't know. I would never do that. I wanted to do like bishop takes d5. Wow, this actually works. I'm just intuitively brilliant, but tactically, like calculation, I suck. You know, I knew this was good. I just didn't know. I didn't know why. After pawn takes e6, pawn takes check. If queen e6 check, I didn't see like how strong our attack is, but it is. It's like here I missed queen g6 because I was all looking at like queen takes d5 and not sure what was going on. Honestly, even this might be good. We're on the rook, and I've got bishop f4 followed by rook a e1 coming. So everything's good. You know, this move probably busts him. It's bussin', according to my daughter. I don't know. Does anybody else know that expression? It's like bustin', but it's bussin'. It's basically a short form of bustin'. Bishop d2. This is just way too positional. Just kill him now. Ubatis is worse than me, though. He doesn't do that much calculation. Bishop d2, queen c7. I'm going to, like, super prepare it with rook a e1. He'll never see bishop takes d5. No, here. I mean, honestly, maybe black should play g6 at some point. If he plays g6, it might be hard to break through. So Ubatis played this too slowly. He missed his opportunity. Black got away. Yeah, this is... And then black just committed insane suicide. Like, what move loses the fastest here for black? Other than queen takes e5. That was the trivia question that black was posed here. Assuming that queen takes e5 is not allowed, what is the worst possible move for black in this position? f6! I think it's f6. f6. Seriously, like, that's literally the second worst move humanly possible. Black is, like, trying to lose. Like, what other move is worse? You can't even hang a piece or anything. Rook h6, I'm sorry. No, it's the third best. I mean, worst. I missed rook h6, I'm sorry. But I mean, seriously. This is demented. Like, f6, what? Wait, it has 1, 2, 3. 3 pieces attacking it. But the bonus is that you not only lose a pawn and give white a crushing pass pawn on the 6th rank, like the bonus is that your dark square, white's dark square bishop goes from being like a pawn to the strongest piece on the board. After, I would probably play e takes to get this bishop like to f4 as fast as possible. But Yabatis took with the G pawn. No, I think it's better to take this way and try to get our bishop to f4. Either way, we're winning. Rook f6. This diagonal is not open now. I don't like it as much. This is just too mundane. Bishop h3. Now there goes the center. The f file, 2 bishops, the e6 weakness. I kind of don't want to trade queens, objectively. But Yabatis didn't want to lose his a2 pawn, I guess. I was looking at like queen f2, but it's hard to break through now. He made a serious mistake not taking with the e pawn. I mean, if he takes with the e pawn on f6, this guy's king is like toast here. I mean, he's never going to be able to play king b8 because he gets immediately exterminated by bishop f4. It's a very serious mistake by white. I mean, not to mention the pressure here. But he was just lazy. You know, I'll take with the g pawn toward the center. No, this is like devastating. But bishop f4 is the number one reason. G to f, gf is a very bad move from white. Way too lazy. And still you should take with the pawn. Now, I guess he saw this and didn't like that. Maybe that's the problem. Going back. Like, he was actually worried about this, maybe. I'm surprised the black queen isn't trapped in this position. It's virtually trapped. I mean, to be fair, black has no threats, basically. It's almost impossible. Like, black can possibly survive here. Queen takes check, knight d7. I mean, this is like a massacre. Bishop f4. Look at this, like queen h4 and queen d6 and mate. He has knight e5. What's he gonna do? Like, there's no moves for black here. That was a serious mistake. Anyway, white was, he's normally a little bit lazy. Queen takes c4, knight takes c4, b3, and we're just winning in a technical ending. This is awkward, but the knight could get trapped. Finally, pass pawn. It doesn't matter. So he just plays f7. And now what? He sacks a piece. Threat of bishop h6. Or this. Same thing. And we're just up in a tactical win. I would take the knight, probably. Calculating, take, here, 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 and here. And just no nonsense. King c7, like take. Always just transpose to the winning king and pawning game. There's the least chance of anything going wrong. And you keep it really simple. Less pieces on the board, less things to... Less pieces to drop, basically. But this is close enough. Alright, good game, Yabatis. Guys, we've got an hour left. I've got games from Mikhail Tal. That's actually Asterbait or Mikhail Tal. Who submitted that? Asterbait? Asterbait, Hey It's Miro, Goichu, Ripun. And Princess Chess. But we don't know what game Princess Chess wanted us to analyze. Princess Chess, where are you? Guys, don't forget, support the stream if you can. Please make a donation. Just subscribe. Helps us if you subscribe. We are moving forward. Cooking Rooks just gifted tier 1 sub to ST Brown. Cooking Rooks, I thought you were gone. Cooking Rooks, we're looking forward to your next game submission. We've been waiting weeks. We've been waiting weeks for your next game submission, but it's not been forthcoming. Now that you're playing chess again, I want to see I want to see a good game submitted to the stream. And no excuses. We want to see a good game. Tell your friend WJ Loof that he should submit a game as well. Alright, so we got Mikhail Tal, Disciple. The Disciple playing Astrobate. Astrobate is black. This was Astrobate's... Astrobate... This was your lone win from Tuesday's tournament, is that right? Cookie Rooks is gifted 75 gift subs in the channel. Nice job, dude. Thank you. Take number 3. Astrobate, this is your final round game. He got himself a win in the last round. E4, C5, Knight F3, G6, D4. He's been working on playing this. I was mentioning today to Astrobate that he could possibly play Bishop G7. Because Astrobate playing the modern Benoni, I think a lot of players couldn't play this. But theoretically, you can play a Benoni and allow D5. Basically, you would play like D6. The problem is Knight C3 is not really a Benoni. It's like a Schmid Benoni. It's not quite as good as normal Benoni. So that's the risk. No, it's better to stick with C takes D4. Astrobate had another funny game we looked at where his opponent played a move I've never seen, Bishop G5. And there's no clear win for black. Black can win material, but white gets a little bit of compensation. Check. Bishop D2, Queen E5. Trying to win the pawn on E4. But we told Astrobate he played this and it was very bad. Very, very bad. Astrobate, you never ever played D6 early in Accelerated Dragon. Now that's seriously the decelerated dragon. The point of the Accelerated Dragon is not to play the dragon, but play the Accelerated Dragon. Not to like transpose yourself back into a normal dragon. We're not going to play D6 too early. Because black has better moves. Like Knight C6, just like putting pressure on white's position. This puts a lot of pressure on white's position. I have a really crazy idea here, like the Grinch. This is just insane, but I guess I've been smoking too much dope or something, even though I haven't. I don't know how to explain it. It just occurred to me, like, what would happen if black... I know this is insane. What would happen if black played Queen B6 here? Like, how funny would that be? If, like, white captures... If white captured your whole knight, and you just, like, ignored it and played Queen B6? Is that insane or what? I mean, maybe this is actually good. I've never seen an example of this actually happening. Is it possible? It's kind of like the Scotch, where black does like Queen F6 in the Scotch. I mean, is it conceivable that this is sound? I don't even want to turn on the engine to see how bad it refutes it. It's such a rare position because the bishop just happens to be on G5. Like, this position could never happen in any other way. So I was thinking about, like, well, he could go Knight E7. Is there anything here? The computer says it's like equal after Knight takes E7. No, now white's pulling ahead with an advantage. Yeah, that's the move. That's the refutation. Knight E7. No, you have to take. That's an awesome move, though, in like a blitz game or something. Queen b6 is definitely black's third best move. But it means that I'm thinking creatively. I've never ever considered such a move in the accelerated dragon before. I've literally never considered not taking a knight on c6. But such a rare possibility. So anyway, our actual game is bishop g7, knight c3. Oh. He did it again. Astrobate, what are you doing? This is not the accelerated dragon. It's the decelerated dragon again. Astrobate, you cannot play this move. You have to play knight c6, man. This is the only move. Like, you have to put pressure on his central point here. Well, watch this. He has 3-second increments. Wait. Here. Dude, you spent 21 seconds on that move? What were you doing? Were you, like, having a cigarette break or something? Like, seriously. I guess if I didn't play knight c6, I might consider, like, b6 or something. How bad is b6 with a double fianchetto? Literally no games. The problem is, like, here, bishop b7, and this, he just f3s it. So this bishop doesn't do a lot against that structure. But it's possible. I like that better than d6. a6 is a move. You could transpose like a dragon dwarf if you played a6. But Astrobate, you can't play the dragon and not know it, man. He's playing the dragon with no knowledge at all. I mean, white needs to play... This is tricky now. He's played the wrong move order, so white should actually play bishop e3. You know, then if knight f6, you play f3. This is slightly less good. And now this, and it's one of those swanky positions again with the weird bishops I was talking about earlier. Like, what happens if a black queen lands on c5? How do you protect both your bishops? Here. Oh god. Sladgie, my friend, beat the most annoying player in this position. What is the guy doing? Seriously. Emil knows how to play the dragon. He learned with a friend, Perani. They were big experts. This other guy is just a hacker. Queen a5. Threatening knight takes e4. Threatening the bishop. What does white play? Bishop d2, right? It's like the other Astrobate game. Bishop d2. And now, bloop. Now how do you defend those two pieces? How does that work, exactly? What does white play after queen a5? You can play bishop e5 check. I don't know whatever happened to this guy. Bert Izumakawa. I played him once in Philly. He sort of disappeared. It was weird. He was like a black guy with a Japanese name. Bishop b5 check. Maybe he was adopted or something. But he was definitely a California guy. I guess. I don't know. He just disappeared. It must be alien abduction. What happens to people? They just like disappear. Bishop check. That's a game from California, for sure. I never played on the West Coast almost at all. Alright. Anyway, Astrobate. Castle. Castle. And then there's no way to attack both these bishops simultaneously. It's too late for Queen A5. So I don't know what to suggest here. Knight takes E4. Doesn't look like a good idea in this exact position. Your development is too negligible for this to work, right? Knight E4, Knight E4, D5. Surely white has a good move here. Knight B5. And when you recapture a piece, like you lose your rook on A8. You can't ask that much of the position. So Piroshka Salansi, game over. Castles, Bishop G4. Yeah, this is classic Astrobate not knowing what he's doing. So this is normal. This is like a Dragendorf. Honestly, I don't think, great move. The move is clearly Knight C6. See what the engine says. Yeah. That's just bad. Astrobate, the bishop does nothing on that square. It is literally just a decoration for your Christmas tree. Can we get a bishop decoration for Astrobate's Christmas tree? Just hang it on the tree. Check it out. It's an ornament. What does that do? It does nothing. It's just sitting there. Like, okay. That's really funny. The guy didn't even react. He just played Queen D2. It's a good move. It's a chess ornament. Nice job by white, though. Queen D2. Okay, finally a good move. Now white spoils all of his position by playing knight takes C6. So objectively here at this point, white should probably consider the tactics with knight takes C4. I think knight B3, actually, as strange as that might seem, looks pretty good. Because of the ornament on G4. I don't like this option of giving black a B file. Prophylactic at a depth we can understand. What do you mean? Astrobate's insane move or knight B3? Black's simply threatening D4. And, okay, look, you can play bishop E3 if you want to. There's nothing wrong with that move. It wastes the tempo, though. I suppose bishop E3 is fine. But this avoiding exchanges, to me, looks reasonable. Yeah, bishop G4. It's a bomb. It's like a bomb waiting to go off. The bishop G4 is a suicide bomber. Knight takes C6, B takes C, bishop H6. This isn't a bad plan by white. If you're going to play knight takes C6, this is probably a good thing to do. The ghost piece, I've already talked about this. I won a game like this with white once. But it wasn't this, it was a Marazzi. I had a Marazzi set up. No, bishop H6 is a good move. And now Astrobate just like blunders the pawn with D5. Here, have a free pawn. Alright. If I was white, I would just be like, alright, first I'm going to exchange this, then I'm going to take my free pawn. And then let's just keep it simple. Thanks for the free pawn. Here, here. See that? That makes things complicated. There was no need to do that. Actually, Astrobate if you really want to do this, you should have done that first and probably played like d5. But then you would be, yeah, then it would all make sense. The suicide bomber on g4 would be keeping his... See, that's the very deep idea, Mr. Coffee. The idea was to keep his rook off of d1. The problem is h3 refutes everything. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know. I'm drunk after drinking one beer, but this is bad. That was heads up, Asterbate, to play bishop takes h6, takes, and yeah, I mean now Asterbate has the center. He has the center, and White messed this up. White still has some chances, maybe like f4, f5, caveman style or something. But Asterbate just takes the center. I mean, this is really strong, dude. White totally messed this up. And the suicide bomber was just kidding. He comes back to e6. The mad bomber. It was all a lie. He wasn't really going to sacrifice himself the whole time. It was just a distraction. Yeah, I mean, White played 2 routinely here. Right. Exactly, Mr. Coffee. Now Asterbate just dominates the center. b2 is weak. Yeah, so instead of queen a5, I don't know. Queen a5 is always a bad move. That's my Ben Feingold, like, claim to fame. I imagine rook b8 is a good move. He's got knight a4, but I don't know how long that's going to hold, you know. Even the bomber could go back to d7. White's position is going to fall apart. And the big problem is these pawns on c2 and b2. Like, what are you going to do about those pawns? Asterbate just owns the center here. He's been paying attention to my stream. We discuss the center on a regular basis. And now, chomping pawns. The old Asterbate wasn't so materialistic like this. Now I think that White should consider playing knight d4. He went knight f4. But it's 2 pawns down. Yeah, this queen is a great defender too. White has nothing. I mean, it's a supreme defender where the queen can come back on that diagonal. So actually it looks like maybe rook b1, rook b7, rook b1. If queen c2, you know, it looks a little dangerous. You're going to have to be careful here because this is a huge threat of rook b7. I mean, you're probably okay, but I wouldn't want to take more pawns necessarily. You're going to have to defend very carefully now. Like, I don't know what the best move is. Say like here, here, here. Black is better, but has to be careful with the open king. So, White played that. And then I don't know what rook e3 does. This is a probably good move. He realized he has the f-file. Yeah, and White's just like too primitive. There's nothing here, you know? And there's just a total beatdown on f2. Impressive game. Impressive game. Asterbate butchered the opening, but triple rooks. If you take this way, it's hard to say which way is better. And he went for like a perpetual that's not there, I guess. Black even has the old Ivanov favorite defense, queen g7. There's nothing. That's really brutal. So now g4. But whatever. Rook h2 and it's over. Or, you know, there's no move. g4 here. And you can play queen h4 maybe. Actually, okay, g4. He's still hanging on. I'm not sure that rook g8 was a good move, man. I mean, your rooks are very active here. Shouldn't there be something better? Something else for black? I mean, my first guess is like e3, but truthfully, what's the best move? Queen, queen f6? Queen, queen. What's the best move here? Rook takes. It's a tactic, Asterbate. But does black have perpetual? Like, check this out. So you got rook takes, check. I'm a genius. Is there some kind of freaky perpetual? King h2, rook takes f1, check, king here, and bye-bye. Oh man, this is brutal. No, this is... I should have seen this faster. Like, I'm not doing enough puzzles. I mean, this is really obvious. Rook takes f1 check. Ray Robson would see it like that, you know, like in 1 second. I just don't do puzzles enough. Rook takes f1, queen e4 check. We're just winning a rook. Don't make a blunder of like playing this, because here it's more complicated, right? Like rook takes, there's a check. Check on e5. Still probably wouldn't save white, huh? Another check. You walk out here. You're still winning. It just takes a while. Check. King e7. He'll never fork that rook on f1. Check. And you just walk away. Eventually you're up a rook. That's a good puzzle. Anyway, Asterbate. Yeah, rook d2, whatever. He just resigns. Alright, couple games left. So, we've got Heitzmiro, Goiju, Ripun, and I think move 11 left us. Heitzmiro, it's too late for him. He's probably just waking up. Alaska time. Good game, Asterbate. But please stop playing the dragon, okay? Don't do d6 in the early moves. If you're going to play the accelerated dragon. Heitzmiro actually facing the accelerated dragon. And he plays c3. Alright, we're going to prepare for him here. This is against 2276. So what's the time control? 900 minutes, 900 seconds. 15? That would be 15 minutes plus 10. That's a good time control. 15 plus 10. So I played d5 and bishop g7 with black. Knight f6 is like a sketchy c3 Sicilian that I'm not sure if this is okay for black or not. It's pretty risky. You can see the score here is actually good for black. But whenever I've looked at this under the microscope, it looked like it was a little bit dubious. That deserves more close inspection. Okay, now the Bodler is pretty good. But the main line is his move, d4. You know, an option here for black that's interesting is d5. We looked at this the other day, and it looks like there's a Hracek game, which I find interesting. A number of strong players, so Sabalo, Bu, Peterson, they've all played Heberla. They've all played this move. Black, you know, if black can avoid playing c takes d, it's probably beneficial for black to do so. What I wasn't sure about was, like, I guess taking on c5, taking on e4, queen takes d8 check, king takes d8, this type of variation. Sabalo knows a lot of like interesting tricks. He's a big time dragon expert. Now he's like 80, but pushing 80. But he was still active, at least until a couple of years ago. This is interesting. I mean, maybe it's playable for black. So instead of d5 main line CD, you can play the Smith-Morra. Don't like that, of course, personally. This is the main line, d5, and then e5. And ed5 is not really great. It's a transition to a Panov Caro-Kann. E5, and now bishop g4. I don't know what black's best move is here. Move 11 and we toyed around with a6 a little bit. This was a weird move that was played against me a long time ago by some German IM in Blitz, and then I started to investigate it and found out that like Zvygintsev had played it, and Move 11 tried it. But I don't know, a6 seems awfully slow. So I don't know, maybe knight h6, maybe bishop g4. Last time, I don't remember what I played. I mean, obviously knight c6 is a move. Miro's already 2200. Yeah, he's like 1200 over the board. Slightly underrated. So bishop g4, bishop b5 check. Right, I mean this is definitely normal. I think I had this game with him actually. I think a while ago. I forgot, but I played against somebody on my stream, and I did the Perlstein Kaidanov game. We had analyzed this with Move 11 as well. Like traditionally, black always played knight c6 here, but it turns out that knight d7 is actually okay. So if you see, there's like a Wojciech game from 2004. Rest in peace, my friend. But this Kaidanov Perlstein game, I followed like exactly one of my stream games. It looks like it's playable for black. You know, this is probably the best bet. Instead of knight c6. So this is like a really well-known position. Bishop takes c6 check, takes, and then yeah, knight on bd2. I lost this position against Boris Kryman in the U.S. Masters. Years ago. With black. I don't even remember what I did. But I think I actually had a game with Horvath Jožev in a rapid tournament where I was white in this position as well, and somehow Yoji got in like c5. It was like magic. I don't know how he got it in, but he got it in. So I've actually tried to play this with white a little bit. e6, and now h3 is a massive loss of time. I mean, he's basically committed. I know there are some people who go like bishop f5. We have to consider that option to go back and like go in there. But h3 does seem like a loss of time. There's also like queen a4. I guess there you just play knight e7. So okay, it feels like we're losing time a little bit. Is there anything better? Bishop takes c6, b takes c. Knight on bd2, e6. You know, it's interesting. The vast majority of players here played knight h6. But maybe like e6 is just better. Because Yoji put his knight on e7. I remember that clearly when I was white in this rapid game. He's a grandmaster. He's a very strong theoretician. He later was able to play that like pretty quickly. I didn't have time to like establish a blockade. It also protects c6. I mean, that kind of makes sense. Right, knight e7. So if black gets in c5, he has a totally good position. There's also the f6 break. I remember years ago, Roman had a game like this, and my team, his opponent did something like bishop g5, bishop f6. and the pawn just gets weak and like falls off or something. That's what actually Miro tried to do. Castle, castle, bishop g5. But instead of bishop g5, we have other options. Like, this break bothers me. Maybe white should do b3. See, this is the thing. Like, you're threatening bishop a3. You're trying to freeze him on the diagonal and set up a blockade. Black could play f6, or black can try c5. It's kind of like those two breaks are the question. Which way does he do it? We just don't have time. Queen a4. I also had a correspondence game against someone on Sound in a similar position. I don't remember if it was exactly this one. So you go bishop g5. Okay, this makes sense. Not necessarily intending bishop f6, but just you're there, you know? That actually looks like a good move. h6 is massively weakening for black. And now black just kind of goes off the radar. It looks like bishop g5 is good. So if h6, it kind of calls your bluff. What are you going to do? You either give up your bishop, or you play bishop f6, or you have to pull it out with bishop d2, threatening maybe there. Not that convincing. Bishop f6 will probably just like lose the pawn. So rook e8 is too passive. And then here, yeah, I mean it's clear. There's a pileup. I mean, I think we should just hack this now. But maybe not. Maybe it's deeper than that. Maybe the knight on f5 actually just gets hit by g4. So what about b3? Black has a5, a4, for example. b3, a5. It's not so easy, you know. It looks like black's holding. Where did we leave theory, by the way? Black didn't play h6. Rook e8 looks really slow. This looks natural. b4 is no good. Probably. It's an option, you know, but... This is an interesting line. Let's see what the engine says. White's clearly better. Black should have played h6. Is rook c1 best, though? Queen d2 is better. Interesting. I wouldn't have thought of that. I really wouldn't have played queen d2. Rook c1 seems very logical. Now, I don't like having to defend this pawn with the queen. Or with a rook. Yeah, that's a disaster. I mean, bishop f8. Bishop f8 looks ugly, but I understand. Here, wow. That's a nice move. Rook d3, best move. Really masterful play. I'm not sure if this helped us. If you just straight up play rook c3, is he just toast or what? It looks like black's only option would be to play rook c7. This is such a just sick move. With the idea of rook there, it looks horrible. But maybe it's enough to stay in the game. Because if he has time, you know, it's this is no good. But if black has time to play this, now he's trying to kick you out with like bishop e4. That's the question. That's a pretty cool game. I also appreciate the way he didn't trade his bishop for black's knight and like kicked it back to g7. That's impressive. But now we have a little problem. Holy moly. Maybe the greatest game of the greatest move of the stream. Rook a3. Lucky or good? Which are you? This is insane, dude. So, bishop a3. I have the feeling like black like missed it or something. But seriously, after takes, let's just think about it. Here, queen d2. The black rook is like embarrassingly frozen. And we're threatening bishop f6. We've got to defend our knight, probably. We can't play queen d2. So you got to play king g2 first. Then we make progress. Then we play like bishop here, queen d2, queen h6, followed by knight g5, and black is just done. It doesn't look like black has any way to avoid it. It's totally over. Like here, bishop f6, knight e8, queen d2. Even if you like what are you gonna do? You're just done. There's literally no move. Black is getting mated. That's insane. That is an amazing move. This guy, like, it's surprising he didn't take it, but I guess pretty deep. So he just repeated position. It's amazing. He's like, whatever, man, I don't want your rook. a3. Wow. Rook c3, c4. Now we're stuck. But it looks like a strong attack on the king side. Like, you sealed off the queen side. Maybe Hey It's Mirror should start playing the London system. I mean, this seriously looks like Gada Kamsky playing the white side of the London system. a4, the unthinkable. You didn't play a4. You're just kidding about that, right? Alright, so what's the issue? I think bishop f6. I mean, you've even got this rook lateral here. Yeah, you play bishop f6. And the point is, like, h4, h5. If he ever tries to take on h5, you'll take on g7. You'll never let him get a knight on f5. That's the #1 rule of Chess Club. You'll never let this knight come to f5 under any circumstances whatsoever. I figure bishop f6 is pretty bad for black. He's probably like lost here. Peter doesn't agree. Wow. You know, unfortunately, black has real counterplay against this b2 pawn. I thought he might just be lost. But he's gonna like triple up on the b pawn. But I'm not sure a4 helps us. He's trying to play b3. Okay. Here, I guess. Looks like we lost the thread. Wow. A new idea. Still, space is space. The knight is ill. The knight is ill. It's so ill. Yeah, he's got to get the knight to e8. Wow. Knight b1. So, I mean, honestly, like, f1 looks better. b1 is kind of sad. I don't think that Miro played this optimally. Oh, man. We don't want to trade queens. But I guess at this point it becomes like... It becomes problematic for black to make progress. Because white's threatening stuff, you know, with... Okay, rook c2. White's threatening stuff with this. And h4, h5 eventually. Black was a pretty good player, though. Like, you gotta give him credit. He defended really well. He's not a weak player. Queen e7. Man, this is a tough battle. Without the h4, h5, how are you going to beat this guy? There it is. And then he plays h5. The OMG. So I think bishop f6, yeah. So he actually can allow knight f5, and then he'll have like h5 leveraging. That's what happened. A white didn't want to go knight f5. No, but this is weird. Why don't you just... Wow, why don't you just take? But another insanely deep move. He's like offering another sacrifice, and black could take it, but he probably won't. But I'm not sure. Like, why not just take this? Objectively, doesn't matter. I wonder about bishop takes g7. Is this... No good. Alright. It's no good. White actually got low on time. Usually he's super fast. Man, black was brutally strong. You don't see Hey It's Miro getting lower by 10 minutes than his opponent. Black just was like a monster. Just a monster defender. Clearly a strong player. Finally he got rid of the knight on h5. And then there's still h5. But what's... Yeah, what about h5? Gotta play this. I mean, he can defend with something like queen c2. What an insane game. I'm glad he submitted this. So instead, bishop f6. But again, black should probably try, you know, some queen exchange. It's brutal. Queen e4 hitting the rook. The guy's just menacing him constantly. And now can't play queen h5. So king h7, threatening queen h5. Queen f4. This is a problem. Because eventually black's going to come down with the a pawn. So he kind of panicked to get the queens off. And white here in this position, if he goes for this pawn, maybe he ends up losing because of this. So he goes back. Rook b7, best. Rook a1 going after the dangerous outside pawn. But we got problems. Take, take. Oh man. We can't get them. Can't get the pawns. Black panicked. Black panicked here. Why doesn't he like just defend his pawn with rook? Maybe rook b6. He's still got something. Oh no. He totally panicked. And suddenly like white's fine. I'm criticizing Hey It's Miro for his time management. Usually. But this guy actually gets... He gets the lemon for the worst time management. He's a good player, but his time management was atrocious. He played way too fast. Now he could like lose the king and pawn in game even. So this is probably not a bad move, I guess. Go for the rook ending. Yeah. And it's a dead draw. The rook ending is a dead draw. I mean, only white could lose it, theoretically. Actually, are we in trouble here? It's probably a draw. Now we're going to have to work for it. No, I don't like this rook position. I don't know what we should do here. You should be trying to simplify and trade off the pawn on d5. Maybe that's what he's trying to do. If we trade e6 for d pawn, it's probably an easy draw. Now it's definitely a draw. I guess it wasn't so easy for black to win, no matter what. It's a theoretical draw. Epic game. I asked him to submit a game. He sends me 100 move. Epic. And now the theoretical draw. Not the best move. I would say you want to play like king g3 here. No, I mean, actually, just rook b8 is fine. It doesn't matter. It's kind of a passive methodology. The funny thing is with a knight pawn, you can defend with this passive. It's still a draw. The passive draw works like pretty much only with like knight or rook pawns. Yeah, where did he really go wrong? Okay, like it's still okay, it's still okay, it's still okay. It's still a draw even with the passive system. Here, here, here. This is not a good idea. He can't make progress. I mean, black can't make progress here. You know, he's not making progress at this point, clearly. This isn't really the best move. Now check. Yeah, I mean, there's no way you should have allowed that. Your passive defense is working. Here, this is a mistake. It's still a draw. And now king there. And we have to be careful here. But again, I had this draw long ago. You can defend passively with a knight pawn. Normally this wouldn't work, you know. But here, even if you get down to the back rank, you defend like passively. And black can't win. Like for example, whatever. Here, I don't know. Here, g4, whatever. Here, even if you let yourself, you know, somehow get driven to the back rank. Okay, this is a win. But whatever. Here, just my argument would be this safe position. Even if you're driven to the back rank, you're still not. You can't lose this position. I was surprised when I was younger, when I had a game like this. Like, any other pawn, you know, in the center or something would be totally lost. But because black can't come over on the other side, it's easy to remember. With a knight pawn, you know, obviously rook pawn is easy draw. But with knight pawn, because he can't get over too far on the other side, there's no way to win for black. Like, as good as it looks, it's just a draw. But it's sad that he actually found a way to lose this. He didn't know that, you know, this position is a draw. Yeah, you could just defend passively. So I guess like king g3, rook c1. That's the point. You can't win your rook, you know, he can't win your rook. And there's stalemates type of things, you know, here. There's the stalemate threat. This is a huge problem. Check. Well, here it wins a piece, but whatever. Let's do like let's see, where doesn't it win a piece? Anyway, there are possibilities of stalemate. So Hayasmiro lost this. Unbelievable. Walked out, g4. And now it's just coming down. Now I had the sense that black was a good player. De la Villa. The bridge. Take him to the bridge. Alright, that was a tough one for Hayasmiro. Guys, we got a little bit of time left. I'm going to do this Goju and Ripun games. Did I forget someone? Percy Hepworth, of course. That was game 10. I never put that in the stream, in the study. Oh, alright, we'll save that for last. I can't put it in the study. Alright, Percy Hepworth. Is he still here? So Goiju, I'm losing my voice a little bit. Talking a lot these damn streams. De la Villa, Will De La Villa. I played De La Villa and draw somewhere in Spain. Don't even remember what the opening was. E4, E5, knight F3. Goju is black. So Petrov. Why would Jan Nepomniachtchi play the Petrov defense? So you played the there's another player who was playing this on my stream. Who was it? It's okay, Percy Upworth, it'll work. The Damiano Gambit. Your opponent played it correctly. This is a worse move. Mamajaro did a funny thing. He played Bishop E6 and beat a Grandmaster with this. This is crazy. The guy wanted a draw and he like denied him. He denied him with a plus 1.8 position for white and beat him anyway. That's so sick, dude. That's so dis. White just like wants a draw and you're like, no, I want to be like negative 1.8. I'm going to beat you anyway. It's serious dis. But anyway, pawn takes. I lost a bad game here in Blitz on the stream. So Hikaru says this is the best move for white, I think. I actually didn't know that. You know, I thought Bishop B5 was white's best move because that, I guess, is the older move, and I'm out of touch. I was not aware. But your opponent is at 2300. Goiju also up to 2200. Yeah. Yeah, so anyway, I lost in this. In a Blitz game on the stream. Yeah, you saw the opening on the stream, yeah. So knight c3 is best, I guess. White settles for a small advantage here. Yeah, I mean, what would Mamajarov do, you know? The classic question. You can't trade queens. It's a problem. It's a serious problem. I don't know how Mamajarov would find a way to like play for a win here. Queen e5, knight e5, knight b5. So this is the first time I've seen this. So clearly this is best to play, I guess, bishop a5. It looks like black's just about holding on. But I think that you're in a rough position here. Man, this guy's rating is out of control. Max Wormerdam is 2562. The Silver Spoons guy, who was an IM like 2 years ago. He plays in everything. He must play like 100 rated games a year or something. Even during COVID. Serious backing. Bishop d6. Yeah, I mean, I don't like your structure. I mean, I think black's going to have a lot of unpleasant suffering here. But it's unclear if, you know, I'm not going to say black's lost in this position. It's better for white. It's clearly better for white. But I can't really say black's necessarily lost. Your position might be defensible. But yeah, it's better to go with the other move. For me, it's unbelievable. White has just bishop e3. Is that best? There's nothing wrong with bishop e3, but there's nothing wrong with knight takes d6 check. It's funny that he couldn't beat a 2300. How does he get his rating up to 2562? Alright. Bishop d6. Take, take. You know, the one thing that white should not do is trade off his bishop. This is a golden rule with the two bishops. You do not trade your bishop pair off. Check here. I don't think an experienced player makes this move. I don't think an experienced player... Well, I know an experienced player does not make this move. I mean, bishop e2, you know, this thing has excellent range. Both bishops are good. And you just grind it, you know, and you focus on the weak pawn on d6. This is like a massive mistake. After bishop b5 check, his best move here is literally bishop e2. With, like, probably second place going to something like a4. But you absolutely don't exchange pieces in black's favor. You know, now you went from, like, basically almost lost to slightly worse after bishop takes d7 check. You know, it's a huge mistake by white. King d7, and now again it's like, looks like white's still better, but why give black, you know, really realistic chances to draw? He's still better. Maybe we have to seriously consider playing a6. Maybe we have to seriously consider playing knight c4, actually. Can this work tactically, though? Why not take with a knight? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? This is an endgame. No, this is definitely the best move. You're going to need something to protect this pawn, and you don't want your rooks like tied down to defending that. This is absolutely the best move. Castles, no. You gotta understand. The king must be centralized in the endgame. Black's barely holding on here. Knight takes is bad. No, I don't like knight takes at all. I'm not saying it's impossible that black could defend here, but no, I think the king is good. This is good. This is good. And now the question is, can you play something like knight c4 and sack this pawn because like b6 traps his bishop, for example? I mean, it's complicated, right? Like b3, rook a8. I'm happy, man. I'm drawing. This is a draw, dude. This is a fat draw. So the answer is knight c4. It's probably a draw. You're not even down any material. I keep thinking like black is down a pawn. You know, there's nothing. We're just worse structurally. So the other thing is that maybe a6. Not to put your pawns, you know, on a square where they're going to get targeted by his bishop. My concern was like a4, a5 here, but you're probably still okay. Yeah, again, like, I mean, this looks fine. Knight c4, maybe bishop d4, and he's on g7. g6, b3, and white's still better. You have to be a little bit careful. You could drift into a position where you're worse. What you really want is a rook ending. See, now we can't get the knight to c4. f5 might not be bad. This is forcing for f4, okay? Maybe now you should pull the trigger on that. I guess white would play f3 though. This is kind of a cheapo, honestly. Huge problem with g7. You got rook down. but white has rook d2. There's also rook e4. He counterattacked. But you have tactics, damn. So white just totally lost track of the G threat. No, I mean my instinct was rook d2. Now I remember why. And you have knight takes f4 here. Knight f4, rook takes f4, rook takes g2 check, king h1, rook takes d2, bishop takes d2, rook takes d2, rook takes f5. It's a draw. Maybe black's even better, I don't know. Probably not. That's pretty crazy. You got a lot of counterplay out of the blue there. No, I mean, I guess actually here I'm wrong. He should play this. He should play bishop, rook takes e2, knight takes e2, and just move his bishop. Maybe you're still in trouble here. Let's see. This is a little tricky. I'm actually concerned about this. Maybe I misevaluated. Maybe you have to play this differently. Maybe rook g8 is a mistake. The other thing I was wondering was, is this a better move? This is very tough to say. Like, look at the engine here. It's not sure. Rook g8 here, rook e2. So this is the key position. Rook d2, knight takes f4, rook takes e2, knight takes e2, bishop b2. Wow, you have f4 and you're better. I can't believe it. What? On rook f2? Wow. I missed this. This is crazy. Again, you're not down any material, so it's okay. So he has to go here. And it's a totally different position, a5. Black's just hanging on. Cooking Rooks, thank you. Submit it for next week. So Goiju got to this guy here. Take. And then this was the game. Wow. So that's impressive. I didn't think he'd get a perpetual out of this. But he does. He keeps having this annoying threat of mate. The guy has to go back. That's really funny. And there's no way his bishop can like interpose on g1. So he tries this, but he just drives him back. So good defense. I mean, the real takeaway from that game was White's failure to understand not to trade the bishop pair. Very important. Major mistake. I've got Repun. Oh no. He submitted another game against me. He's got to stop doing that. I'm going to start banning his games. I'm black here. Guys, I only have like 10 minutes, so quickly. I don't remember, this game was played a long time ago. I swear I thought we already did this game. It's really weird. Knight f3 here. He plays d4 at tempo down. Oh, this was not a long time ago. Okay, this is how we transposed. Thanks, Goiju. Yeah, this was just played last week. Alright, I remember now. I didn't remember how we got there. I let him transpose to a main line. This is all theory. I studied long ago. It's a decent line. It's okay for black. I had a game with this one guy who played bishop g5 against me. I thought this was main line. Trying to double the pawns. Bishop f6. I don't remember. I think this happened in my game with Stupowski. I don't know if it's in there. I don't see it. It's like a rouser sort of structure. So queen b8. Apparently, statistically, a4 is the best move. Interesting. I think black's okay here. It's a very solid line for white. Bishop e7, bishop e3. So this apparently is a mistake. Or at least not played. And that's why generally you want to play a4 to try to slow down b5. And here, I guess I could go for it. I could have tried like knight takes d4 and b5. But I don't know about queen takes. Queen takes probably nothing. Yeah, bishop takes, b5. For example, e5. The problem is takes, bishop takes e5. We're going to lose the exchange. And I don't know that black has enough compensation. I mean, it's pretty scary for white, but is it enough? Not really. No. So I have to be careful of that. Castle, a4. Yep, now takes. And now I play bishop c6. So I just played like safely, but he's like Michael Adams. He has a5. And like, check this out. We transposed to Grandmaster games. 2 Tregubov games with black. So what did I do? Vadim Zaitsev against Tregubov, 1999. So white played knight a4. I mean, this is like a classic move. Bishop d8. Game ended in a draw. But white is like definitely better. I never saw Ripun play like this before. Knight a4 is the best move according to the computer. I think I did make a comment about f4. He's weakening his dark squares. So we're still following theory, apparently. Bishop f6. And now he plays bishop takes. But I saw the the dark square is very weak here. So black is okay. With the dark square bishop coming off. This diagonal is weak. I can play e5 if possible. I mean, objectively, I don't know. Can white do like g4? Is this a move? I have d5. Amazingly, I just have this, just ripping the center. Yeah, it's strong. I don't know what would happen, but it looks like it's better for black. Okay, g4 is too crazy. He plays queen e2, and now b5. I thought he would take en passant, but he turned into Anatoly Karpov now and played this. But this e4... Knight e2 is interesting, and it's a nice square, but the center... Now I have bishop e5. Very strong front pressure here. And then white played e5. But his pawn is weak. Take, 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 take. And then knight g4. Hitting this. Hitting the queen. And if queen d4... Now that I think about it, I don't remember what I had in mind there. I guess I was just going to play knight h6. For some reason, I feel like I missed this. I'm not sure if my plan was to play h5 or just come back to and head for f5. But I mean, it looks like white's king is pretty open. So I don't like his decision to play e5. And now he just like freaked out. Yeah, I mean, clearly queen d4 is the best move. Clear advantage to black. Too many weaknesses for white. But it got crazy in the game. He played queen f3. I won this. And then I won another pawn at some point here. After knight a4, knight a5. Here, here, here. I just blundered in exchange. So, I was on a minute. He has 23 seconds. He plays knight a4. I grab the pawn. He plays knight c5. I'm up 4 pawns to 3, but I totally missed the fork. And I have to play knight b3. And I'm maybe winning here. I mean, knight b3, rook b3, rook a6. I guess rook b8. Objectively, rook d6. Something like king f8, rook d2. But I think that black should be winning with a 4-on-2 kingside majority. I mean, eventually I should be able to create 2 connected passed pawns. The fact that he has this pawn over here, not a big a deal, and he's tied down passively. So if I can play like g5, h5, king g6, h4, eventually I'll trade my pawns and just create 2 connectors and just go. We're just going to go with our 4 pawns against 2. So I think I was winning, but I overlooked this nasty fork, and suddenly my whole position was just a draw. Rook b2, knight b2, knight takes, king takes, and rook takes, and now I just have 2 pawns and a knight for a rook, which is objectively drawn. He's not going to win, but I can't win if he plays right. But the funny part was, again, it's probably a draw, but I got to this position where I almost could have lost here, where I played g4. It's almost like a semi-zugzwang sort of thing. Like, I don't have that many moves here. Like, any kind of logical move like knight d4, he's coming over, and it's just not good. I'm actually, I think, lost in this position. It's still a draw, apparently. Wow. I thought I was, like, losing. But luckily, I played g4, and he plays h4, and f6, and then he eventually hung a rook. But I was able to get in there. Is this a draw? Yeah, it's a draw. It's a draw. I can't attack. I need to attack g3. So if he makes a sensible move like rook b6, check, king f2, I have no way to make progress. I mean, I guess like e4. I'm not going to win here. It's just a draw. So I was lucky he hung a rook in time pressure. Knight f5 check. Okay, but a good opening by white. And then the final game, as I lose my voice. Guys, I got 5 minutes, I gotta go. But it's Percy Hepworth versus, oh no, yours truly. Guys, stop submitting games against me. Alright, especially ones where you won or something. Yeah, thanks Cooking Rooks and Goiju. Mr. Coffee. Guys, I'm out of here in 5 minutes. I'm losing my voice. I know I've been streaming too long if I'm losing my voice. Knight f3, d5, c4. So, you're black. I played the ready. I don't really like d4, honestly. This is probably the best. You really should go for d4. g3 is nothing. e3 is nothing. And b4 is complicated. Alright. So we got the solid e6. This is good too. Just transpose to the Queen's Gambit. Yeah, the Kramnik variation. So it looks like black's going to play the Tartikover or the Lasker, and then they go here. And I'm like, I honestly never ever saw this. I always thought this is just some useless passive line for black. It didn't really have a lot of significance until recently. In the last, see here, 2017, 2018, 2019, 2016. See all these games? Like, this variation didn't really exist, theoretically, until the last, 10 years. I mean, you're basically playing h6 in the Orthodox variation, which was supposed to be an inaccuracy. So rook c1. I mean, I don't know if queen c2 is something. Maybe that's another option for white. The only other move I would really consider would be queen c2. So rook c1. And then this is just a passive line. So this is critical. And I've had a number of draws already. So I decided to try something new here. After c takes d, knight takes. I've had a bunch of draws with like bishop takes e7, knight takes e7. This is disgusting, you know. I mean, it's almost impossible for white to like win in this position. There was a Kramnik game or something. Yeah, Ivanchuk Kramnik. Firouzja. You gotta ask yourself, why is Firouzja playing this? Has he been hanging out with Hikaru Nakamura? Firouzja, who's like this amazing tactical player, is playing the Queen's Gambit declined with black. Like, you might as well like go burn your rating points. Damn, imagine that. Firouzja is like 2800 despite playing this. What a waste of talent, you know? I realize it's hard, but I mean, you know, when you're really good tactically, don't play the Queen's Gambit declined. I think Hikaru wanted to prove a point with it at some point, but then he like just kept playing it. It's a lot of work to play sharper openings, you know. It's like, but if you're that talented, tactics, you shouldn't play this stuff. Same thing with, yeah. So this has never been played just in one game. Yeah, I just decided to try it. You know, I know that it's probably not right, but just for something different. You know, knight takes d5, so bishop takes h4, and now the one game where this was played, some Romanian game, was knight c3, which is obviously, you know, pretty lame. Pretty lame, dude. So I played knight takes h4, you know, obviously hoping for a imbalanced structure, which he does. But the real question, you know, is knight takes d5 any good? So after bishop takes h4, his move is best, but then the whole thing sucks, you know. If I have to play this, I just wouldn't do it, you know, honestly. So I wanted to try this. I didn't know if it worked. My fear was that you had this. This is the whole reason I was like thinking for a long time. This variation is the interesting, you know, position. What would happen after knight c7? I mentioned it on the stream. Knight c7, rook b8. I wasn't sure what was going on here. So I thought what you did wasn't good, but the computer says it was good. Knight f3. But I didn't evaluate this properly. Like, I thought this would be okay for white, but apparently you're just good. You got the Capablanca like queenside pawn majority. Black's clearly better. Wow. I try to break it up, you just like defend it. I try to break it up, you just defend it. And at the end of the day, I'm just like facing this scary queenside. So it's all bad. The whole concept of playing knight takes d5 is a bust. But Percy Hepworth didn't know that, and obviously neither did I. After bishop takes h4, we get to this, and he misses c4. So now it's not so clear. Check, queen d2, and obviously like this is dangerous. I mean, queen takes a2 takes here. I thought here I was alright. So I think trading was logical. And the endgame is, maybe I should take with the knight. I don't know if anyone suggested that. I mean, king takes is natural. But I mean, we need to consider this. But I don't think that white can possibly be better if I have to make that move. So king takes, c4, basically forced. And now he has this massive threat of this. which is pretty big. You know, I really don't like that. That's why I had to play, or felt I had to play knight e1. You know, and interestingly, another plan which I didn't see over the board would be knight g1, knight e2. As strange as that seems, I could possibly play knight g1 here. Is that crazy? Apparently it's too slow for my pieces to get out. So I played this. The main idea is to play f3. You should have played b5 to go with that queenside majority. I understand f5, it's not bad, but he does weaken this square. Do you think I realized that b5 is something? a4, a6, a5. I'm like, no, I changed my mind. You can't play b5. Knight f6, f3, Bishop d7, knight c2, because I like my knight on e1. Now rook a c8, but maybe that's the wrong way to go about this. This pawn looks kind of weak. So I think your chance here, you know, you're doing the wrong thing focusing on this. You should be maybe thinking about this. What about maybe rook b8? I mean, I have this square, right? That wasn't my original plan, but if you play b6, for example, I guess I could play rook a1. If you play rook b8, I could play knight b4, then b6. I don't like that. You got to watch for tactics like take, bishop takes c4, but I don't think it works because you have bishop e6. So this idea of like somehow you attacking my pawn there, I don't know how you can get it in. If you play b5 though, you know, then we just like sit there with the blockade. So it's tricky, I don't know. Computer says I'm better now. Here you don't really have a plan. And I reposition now the bishop on b3. I mean, is this good or bad? Is that active or out of play? You know? It's definitely partisan. Welcome, Chess Falcon, Great Lazarus. So it's like the bad bishop, the super bad. It's like James Brown. It looks super active, but is it super bad? It's like trapped on b3. It's trapped itself inside my position. So that makes it look like the whole plan was the wrong idea. Objectively, you should be okay here. You know, why not like go back to there with like b5 now? And if I take, you play rook b8, and you've got pressure on my guy. This actually looks kind of awkward for me. Yeah, I'm in trouble here. I'm in serious trouble here. So I got too fancy, it looks like. I got too fancy. It's a tense position. It was a simul. It was too fancy. We both misplayed this. And now you're worse. And I was like, alright. I mean, I might play e4. I'm setting it up. Maybe g4. I played g4. Now we're taking toward the center, but we got the huge central mass. And your bishop ends up just a spectator. Can black play g5 now? I'm rolling. Yeah, it's actually very instructive. You might even be lost here already. Yeah, it was better. Well, it was better on c6 or something. Are you lost here? Yeah, you're basically lost. The central mass. I mean, this is a very instructive position. Your king is active. Your pieces are active. Like everything looked like okay, but you're lost because my central mass is too strong. Those two pawns just wreck you. Now maybe I could have sacked the g pawn here, but in time pressure, I didn't want to take any risks. Yeah. Yeah, this is good for me. 2 connected passed pawns. And your bishop just remains a spectator. Now you're dead. Yeah. Now you have this additional problem here. Yeah, I mean, probably I looked at rook f1. The 2 passers are too strong. Was there any hope here? Not really at this point. It's over. Yeah. But the opening was favorable. That opening is a serious problem for black. I mean, I don't know for white. What am I going to do in that opening? I mean, I just don't know how the heck does white play this? It's like hopeless. What does the computer say? Bishop e7. Bishop e7, knight e7, plus 0.1 for white. So this is apparently the engine's move. Bachier-Lagrave with a couple games. But this is all, like, none of this in the last 2 years has even been played. Yeah, I mean, white has almost nothing here. It's so small you can't even see it. It's a serious problem. I don't know what white's supposed to do. Maybe I'll investigate queen c2. This might be objectively a better try. I've probably played this. This is really solid. Anyway, guys, I gotta go. It was wonderful. Lots of interesting games. Thanks for the gift sub from Cooking Rooks. I will be back. Don't forget to follow, by the way. I will be back tomorrow morning with Blitz challenges, open challenges here on lichess and Twitch. It's always a pleasure. I'm gonna do a raid here. Art Vega looks like he's streaming, so we can raid his stream. Do we have any viewers left? We have 22 viewers, or 4. Hopefully more than 4. /raid. My keyboard has been acting up. We're going to do a raid of Art Vega. If you'd like to keep watching some chess. I'm kind of fried after 3 hours of analysis. It's martini time. My keyboard is Virga, Art Virga. So Art is a good player. 1983. It was a good year. All right, guys. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you later. Thanks, Mr. Coffee. Next stream, everybody. Tomorrow morning, 11 a.m. Bye-bye.